Welcome to Jarvis Christian College, 109th Commencement Ceremony. On this day, May 1st, 2021, Jarvis Christian College celebrates its graduates on a job well done. For this is not the end, but just the beginning. Here at Jarvis Christian College, no matter if you're near or far, we are wherever you are.
You may be seated. Good morning. To the Jarvis Christian College Board of Trustees, family, alumni, friends, and graduating seniors of the class of 2021, and to those graduates of the class of 2020 and to their family and friends who have traveled here to participate in the commencement ceremony as well. It is an honor to stand here today to welcome you to the Jarvis Christian College's virtual 2021 commencement ceremony. I know that each of you have patiently anticipated this day, and now it is finally here, in spite of the global pandemic and the social instability of our country. This is a special occasion. The commencement ceremony at Jarvis is an event where we come together in a formal way to commemorate the completion of your degree and the beginning of the next phase of your life. I would like to thank you for giving attention and reverence to the ceremony as we recognize your outstanding achievements. We will begin with the invocation by the Reverend Sir Dedrick Dinkins, Assistant Professor of Religion and Campus Ministry and Chaplain, followed by a musical selection by the Jarvis Christian College Choir under the direction of Mr. Bruce Alvin Thompson.
May we bow and go before God. God, we stand in this moment and we stand here with gratitude. We stand here remembering. We're thankful for these students who came to Jarvis some 4 years ago and some 3 years ago and some just recently, but we're so grateful that the journey they began, they have now finished. We want to thank you as well, God, for every professor, every staff person, every administrator who worked with them as they continued and now have completed their matriculation. But God, we also stand here now and we reflect upon the challenges that they faced and overcome, the many times when some of them felt like quitting. And we want to thank you for your presence that held them and kept them and comforted them and shielded them. We're so grateful for every parent who literally talked to them and kept them from giving up, to help them work through depression and to help them to dry their tears at night. We're so grateful. And we're grateful for this moment. What a marvelous moment that you brought us to. Now, God, we invoke your presence. Be with us not only in this place, but as they go forth on their journey, would you go with them every step of the way and be the same God that kept them here, the same God that will take them forward. We thank you that all is well and all will be well. We pray this even now in the name of the Lord Jesus. And everybody who agreed said, amen.
Perfect I stood at the foot of the cross and cried in agony to behold the Lord of glory suffering there for me. The guilt he bore was mine. He carried off the shame. Then from the depths he lifted me to magnify his Lord and King, I will praise your name for all eternity, and you will always be my blessed Jesus. Through the power of his blood and forgiveness I reserve, we are freed as blessed to love again, all because he loved us Lord and King, I will praise your name for all eternity, and you will always be.
Outstanding. The program will proceed with greetings by Ms. Alexandra Matabo, salutatorian, class of 2021, and the Reverend Danny Cartwright, who serves on the Jarvis Christian College Board of Trustees.
To Dr. Newman, Mrs. Newman, Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, alumni, family and friends, and members of the class of 2021, greetings. To the class of 2021 has weathered a pandemic to be able to be here today. We are here not only because we didn't do it alone, but because we have the support of those who have loved and believed in us. Our faith, our family, and our friends have helped us to get here. Thank you for coming to support and for helping us through this unusual times that have tried us all. Your presence means more than you will ever know. Thank you.
Dr. Newman, distinguished and outstanding faculty, incredible staff, devoted First Lady Mrs. Newman, parents, family, friends, and marvelous class of 2021. It is so good to be here, to be at this point of your graduation from college, a mile marker and a launching pad into your future. If you think about the things that you have learned in these years at Jarvis Christian College, and the care that you have experienced, and the hope that you have felt placed in you, and you think about the remarkable ways in which you handled the pivots from this past year, and how agile you were at making the changes and adapting to keep your education moving forward. Jarvis Christian College made those pivots with you, continuing to offer you the education and support that now launches you into the world. Congratulations. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, each person there who is dedicated to ensuring that the future is brighter because you are part of the Jarvis Christian College family. It is on the board's behalf that I salute you and thank God for you. We celebrate you this day in this graduation ceremony and all that you have achieved, and pray for the future where you will continue to learn and to lead and to grow and to make a difference. Thanks be to God for each one of you.
Thank you, Ms. Matavo and Reverend Cartwright, for those warm words. I will now introduce to you our speaker for today. Bishop William J. Barber II is pastor of Greenleaf Christian Church, Disciples of Christ in Greensboro, North Carolina, and president and senior lecturer of the Repairers of the Breach. He is also architect of the Forward Together Moral Movement that gained national acclaim with his Moral Monday protests in North Carolina General Assembly in 2013. These weekly actions drew tens of thousands of North Carolinians and other moral witnesses to the state legislature. More than 1,050 peaceful protesters were arrested and handcuffed and jailed. He has served as president of the North Carolina NAACP, the largest state conference in the South, since 2006, and sits on the National NAACP Board of Directors. On July 22, 2013, the College of Affirming Bishops and Faith Leaders consecrated Reverend Barber as Bishop of Repairers of the Breach, a nationwide network of faith-based intersectional justice organizations. Bishop Barber is regularly featured in media outlets including MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the National Magazine, among others. He's also the recipient in 2015 of the Puffin Award and the Franklin D. Roosevelt Four Freedoms Award. His most recent books include Forward Together and The Third Reconstruction. The recipient of numerous awards, in 2018, Barber was named the MacArthur Fellow for building broad-based fusion coalitions as part of the moral movement to confront racial and economic inequality. Bishop Barber received a Master's of Divinity from Duke University, a doctorate from Drew University with the concentration in public policy and pastoral care. A former Mel King Fellow at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, he is currently visiting professor of public theology and activism at Union Theological Seminary in New York City. And he's also senior fellow at Auburn Seminary. The next voice you will hear after the musical selection of the choir will be none other than Bishop William J. Barber.
God is a good God. He's a great God.
He's a great God. He can do anything but fail. He has moved so many mountains out of my own way. Hey, God is, He's a wonder, He's a wonderful God. Oh, God, He is a good God. Oh, He's a great God. He most certainly can do anything but fail. He has moved so many mountains. Oh, out of my way. Oh, God, He's a wonderful, wonderful God. Help me sing it quiet. God is a good God. He is a good God. He's a great God. He's a great He can do anything but fail. He has moved so many mountains out of my way. Hey, God is, He's a wonderful God. I'm gonna say He's a good God. He's a good God. Oh, He's a great God. He's a good God. He's a great God. He's a wonderful God. Oh, sing He's a good God. Say He's a great God. Oh, He's a wonderful God. Oh, He's a good God.
He's a great God. He's a wonderful God. He's a good God. He's a great God. He's a wonderful God. He's a good God. He's a great God. He's a wonderful God. He's a good God. He's a great God. He's a wonderful He's a good God. He's a great God. He's a wonderful God. He's a good God. He's a great God. He's a wonderful God. Oh, God. He's a
I'm honored to be here today, back in what used to be my hometown. When I was a little boy, I lived in Hawkins, Texas with my father and my mother. My father helped teach in sociology here at Jarvis Christian College. And I'm glad to be here with you. I bring greetings and great congratulations to the graduates of 2021. Thank God for all of the professors, the trustees. Thank God for what you continue to do and what you are yet headed to do. I want to acknowledge this day the Reverend Dr. Lester C. Newman. The Reverend Dr. Lester C. Newman, had a great conversation with him, the 12th president of Jarvis Christian College, the small college that always produces big things and great people. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here today. Gracious God, help us today as we humbly attempt to deliver a word in season. Amen. I'm thankful by the grace of God to be here with you. Almost 40 years ago, I sat where you sit now at my alma mater. I attended a school that is the oldest public HBCU in the country, North Carolina Central University. And one of the great educators of that tradition of HBCUs, Dr. Benjamin Mays, summed up the sense of responsibility that our teachers sought to instill in us in a simple poem that says, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me, cannot refuse it, did not seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. It's just a tiny little minute, but eternity is wrapped up in it. Not long after I graduated from college in 1989, I began to move into ministry. And today, I call on you to remember and to think about that you only have that minute. So I want you to graduate today, get up, and get involved tomorrow. There are some who want to promote the lie that things are basically okay in our world. Yes, we were interrupted by COVID, and they suggest that's the problem, but things were fine before COVID. And yes, they say because technology has given us vaccines, and the economy in some way for some people is opening up again, and for some it was never harmed, because we know now that billionaires made nearly $1 trillion, $2 trillion in the midst of this pandemic. And some tell us that brighter days are just around the corner for everybody, but as Chance the Rapper said, sometimes the truth don't rhyme, and sometimes lies get millions of views. And in this moment, you have to question the triumphalistic slogans we hear about the resilience of the economy and American exceptionalism. This is the world you're graduating into. We've lived through a pandemic year when the richest Americans saw their wealth grow, while the poorest among us lost millions of jobs and watched their loved ones die at 3 times the rate of their wealthy neighbors. Meanwhile, some engage in attention violence, refusing to even look at the reality around. They just ignore it. And others see the problems, but they throw up their hands and say nothing could be done. And the truth is, life is hard for most folk in America and in the world, and something must be done about it. For some of you here, you are only the first or second generation in your family to even go to college, and no matter how you look on the outside, it was hard to get here and to stay here. It's hard out here for a student, and many places it's getting harder. That's why John Legend sings in a song, can't just preach. I can't sit and hope. I can't just sit and pray that I can find a love when all I see is pain. I try to do the things I say that I believe. I just can't preach, baby. Preach, whoa, oh, I just can't preach, baby. I just can't preach. I just can't fall on my knees. I've got to do something. For the past 3 years, I've been organizing people across this land for the Poor People's Campaign, the National Call for Moral Revival. I'm speaking to you today as I'm taping this, just coming back from Mississippi, the poorest state in the nation. I've been in the backwoods of Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky and West Virginia with workers in Bessemer, Alabama, with folks in the South who are fighting to keep new fossil fuel lines out of their poor communities, and in the Tenderloin of California, San Francisco, and right here in America, more than 140 million people wake up every day, even before COVID, living in poverty and low wealth. I've seen in homeless encampments and tenement buildings on native lands and back roads in the country, the harsh reality of poverty in the richest nation in the history of the world, which is why I know you must graduate today, but then get up and get involved tomorrow. You must do this when systemic racism is alive and well. Yes, the public lynching of George Floyd is systemic racism, and we give thanks that a court held his murderer accountable, but we still need federal legislation that holds all officers accountable. And we must see that racism, systemic racism, is not just when a cop kills someone on the street unarmed or wrongfully. It's also when a politician blocks a law that would create greater equity in wages and access to health care and housing and environmental justice. It's a grave injustice that a black person is killed in America by a police officer today more often than African Americans were lynched in the Jim Crow South. But it's also unconscionable that in the richest country in history of the world, African Americans have contracted COVID at least 3 times the rate of their white neighbors. And that even before COVID, 700 plus people were dying a day from poverty. This pandemic has exposed 2 great fissures in our society that were already there, systemic racism and systemic poverty, and we must do something about it. So you must graduate today, get up and get involved tomorrow. That's not all. We see voter suppression that is systemic racism. Since 2010, over 22 states have passed racialized voter suppression laws. And the Brennan Center right now is tracking in this democracy over 300 voter suppression measures. Measures that say you can't even take someone a bottle of water while they're waiting in a line that shouldn't be that long in the first place. And measures that are saying that if people are protesting what you're doing nonviolently, you can drive your car through them and maybe kill one of them and be immune. That's why you must graduate today and get up and get involved tomorrow. When 400 people make an average of $97,000 an hour, and 3 people in this nation own more money than the bottom 50% of all the poor, and when 80 plus million people are without health care or are uninsured in America, people who pray not to get sick because they can't afford the treatment, and they watch politicians get up in places like the Senate and the House and open those places with prayer, P-R-A-Y, and then after they pray, P-R-A-Y, they pass policies that pray, P-R-E-Y, on those who are hurting the most. You must graduate today and get up and get involved tomorrow. Do you know we've had a mass shooting every week this spring? And some people still want to protect guns more than people? When we're in a society where it seems normal that senators are blocking a living wage, that Amazon is blocking unions, and that an entire party is blocking action on climate crisis and voting rights. Even as corporations try to push new fossil fuel pipelines through black communities and brown communities and poor white communities all the way from Tennessee to Cancer Alley in Louisiana. And the National Chamber of Commerce comes out in support of voter suppression laws and blocking voting right expansion laws in the Congress. And when the people many times pushing these policy violence are blessed by so-called religious nationalists who say so much about what God says so little and so little about what God says so much. And when this distorted moral narrative of religious nationalism tries to be the chaplain of injustice rather than the critic of injustice, and does not ask the critical prophetic question, when I was hungry, did you feed me? When I was naked, did you clothe me? We know that there's too much rejection in America. And you must graduate today and get up and get involved tomorrow. This is the truth. When we see so much hate toward Muslims and gay people and trans people and people who are more interested in stacking the Supreme Court than keeping people out of caskets during COVID. When folk love tax cuts to the wealthy and hate raising the living wage for workers, the workers who are the poorest, who are the first to have to go to work into COVID and the first to get infected, the first to get sick, the first to go to the hospital, the first to die. We call them essential workers, but in their wages, in their sick leave, and in their unemployment, in their workers' rights, in their labor unions, we treat them like they're expendable. This is why you must graduate today, get up and get involved tomorrow. We need you. America needs you. The world needs you. We need you on the front lines for love, the front lines for truth, the front lines for justice. Class of 2021, you are graduating during a moral crisis in America and in the world, and I must tell you the truth, but I must also say you're not the first. The truth is, it had always been young people who have stepped forward at moments of crisis in this nation's history and world history to offer leadership that could push us toward a more perfect union and a better world. Langston Hughes was a young man when he realized he could not wait. He could not just work a job and ignore the world around him. So he decided to rap, we would say today, or write poetry that would lead to prophetic, poetic transformation called the Harlem Renaissance, and would call people to get up and get involved. In a time of moral crisis, Langston Hughes wrote, and I quote, "Who said free? Not me, surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all our dreams we have dreamed, all our songs we have sung, all our hopes we have held, all the flags we have hung, the millions who have nothing for our pay except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again. The land that never has been yet and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, the Indians, the Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose head at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Surely call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain. From those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our mighty dream again. America, oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me, and yet I swear this oath, America will be. Out of the rock and the ruin of our gangster death, the rape and the rot of graft and stealth and lies, we the people must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plain. All the stretch of these great green states, and make America again. He was a young man in 1935. Young people have always stood up to remind us where we have come from, the sins we have committed, who we ought to be, and why we must get there. When Diane Nash was a young student at Fisk University, she became chair of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. And Nash's campaigns were among the most successful of the era, the Freedom Rides, which desegregated interstate travel. She co-founded the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. She co-initiated the Alabama Voting Rights Project that was in Selma long before even John Lewis or Martin Luther King or any of them came there. It was her early work that set the groundwork, a young student that helped pass the Voting Rights Act. But it wasn't only young African Americans who led the civil rights movement. Like every moral movement in this nation here, the movement was young black and young white and young native and young brown and young and old and gay and straight. They were the we the people. I have a dear friend, Bob Zellner. He was the son of a Klansman from Alabama, repudiated his racist beliefs and joined the movement as a teenager, young white man. And after graduating from Mobile's Murphy High School in 1957, Zellner attended Huntington College in Montgomery, and though threatened with expulsion while he was in college for his involvement with student protests, Zellner graduated in 1961 with a degree in psychology and sociology. There's a movie about it now. And after spending a summer at Highlander Folk School in Montego, Tennessee, Zellner, this white son of a Klansman, grandson of a Klansman, was hired by SNCC to recruit white students to the movement. Until 1962, he was SNCC's only white field secretary. I'm a preacher, you know. I follow this brown-skinned Palestinian Jew named Jesus, who in the flesh challenged wrong even as a teenager. And his first sermon when he was a young man in his hometown was, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me to preach good news to the poor." These young people and thousands like them didn't have long years as credentials to take up the roles they took up. Instead, they answered the call with big hearts and grand ideals and learned minds. So I stopped by today to issue a call during this moment of moral crisis in America to say, we need you to graduate today and get up and get involved tomorrow. This country needs you. There's a story in the Bible about 3 young men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The story of the Hebrew children. They were at the University of Babylon when a narcissistic, lying ruler that loved to put his name on everything and every building demanded that they bow down. He threatened to cage them and he threatened them with police brutality. He threatened to lock them up at the border. They were young, but instead they united together and they said, "O King, the God we know can deliver, but even if God doesn't, we won't bow to you." And graduates, you must choose likewise to graduate today. Get up together, get involved tomorrow, and not bow to greed, division, inequality, and injustice around you. You cannot merely get a job, a car, and quarantine your life. You must graduate from college and get involved in the movement. You must graduate. And your graduate must single more than just a graduation for private person. We need lawyers who want more than the biggest settlement. We need judges who want more than a judgeship, but who want justice. We need doctors who will care for the sick. We need preachers who will not preach just about things, but preach about things changing. America needs you to answer the call to stand up and stand against those things that are contrary to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and the destruction of anybody's fundamental human rights. And I believe in you. I believe you must decide how you can be a part of the reviving of the heart of this democracy, because there are some who want to see the heart stop, but you must be the moral defibrillators that shock the heart of this nation. You must go from here, from commencement to commencing. Never in history has so much money been spent to resist equality. The gross sums of money being spent to take us backwards is lewd, is pornographic, is blatant, and is arrogant. These are troubling times. Corporations are treated like people, and people are treated like things. Banks get bailouts and loans with our money with no interest. Corporations get billions of dollars in the midst of a pandemic, and those who work the hardest can't even get sick leave. And the necessary full unemployment and living wages. And then those corporations, those banks turn around and lend us our money. Sometimes in student loan, they lend it back to us with interest. These are critical times. And yet never before in history has there been a generation with so much at your disposal. Our parents and our foreparents in the struggle for justice and love did more with less than we have today. With less, they beat slavery. With less, they overcame the denial of women's right to vote. With less, they beat Jim Crow. With less, they beat lynching. With less, they beat the KKK. With less, they overcame the laws against our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters. With less, they stood against fascism. With less, they knocked down apartheid. I once told a group that with less, no formal education, and despite having epilepsy, Harriet Tubman, a young woman, got 500 slaves out of slavery. She didn't have email, she didn't have texting or Twitter, she didn't have TikTok, she didn't have a car, she didn't have Clubhouse. She had faith in God. She had moss on the north side of a tree. She had a North Star in the middle of the night. And she had a will, a constitution, a moral constitution that would not accept wrong. She and so many before us did so much with so little. We must do so much more because we have so much more. And the truth is, when we come together, every time down through history when young people came together, young Frederick Douglass with young white evangelical preachers of his day, like William Lloyd Garrison, they brought in abolition. Women didn't have the right to vote. Young Quaker women, young white women, And African-American women, former slaves, many of them came together. They won that right. When Plessy versus Ferguson looked like the law of the land, a young Thurgood Marshall with young white, young Jewish, young black lawyers went to the Supreme Court. One of the members of the Supreme Court was a former member of the KKK, but their arguments were so strong and so powerful and so clear, the court verdict unanimously to overturn Plessy versus Ferguson. It was a young Rosa Parks, a young Martin King, a young Bayard Rustin, a young Reverend Reed who was killed in Selma, a young Viola Russa, a young John Lewis that tore down Jim Crow. God changed America by raising up change of the young folk from among the rejected. And that power is still with us. In 1993, I qualified for rejection. I was young, barely 30. Sickness hit my body. I stayed in the hospital 3 months, went through depression. Doctors said I might never walk again. Some people told me I could no longer pastor. My life was over. I might as well sign up for a nursing home. 12 years I was on a walker and in a wheelchair, pain all the time. But somehow in that time, my mind got together, my doctors got together, my pharmacists got together, my therapists got together, my swim coach got together, my families got together, prayer warriors got together. And a young doctor said, together with God, we're gonna make this thing happen. And somehow I may have a limp, but I'm up and I'm not where the expectations were. And so I'm calling you to graduate today, but to get up and get involved together. We must do this together. We need you. Because together, love can take on hate, mercy can take on meanness, justice can take on injustice. Together, we can pay people a living wage. Together, we can have health care. Together, we can truly measure poverty. Together, we can create the kind of infrastructure that will restore poor communities. Together, we can fully fund education. Together, we can cut a bloated military budget and direct that money to the things that will really be for national security. Together, we can treat immigrants properly. Together, we can stop all of these isms and phobias of one another and meanness toward one another. Together, protesting together, standing together. And so I want to bless you today with a benediction from a Franciscan. My blessing to you on this day of your graduation is may God bless you with a restless comfort about easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships so that you may seek truth boldly and love deeply within your heart. May God bless you with holy anger and injustice, oppression, and the exploitation of people so that you may tirelessly work for justice, freedom, and peace among all people. May God bless you with the gift of tears to shed for those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, or the loss of all they cherish, so that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and transform their pain into joy. And may God bless you with enough foolishness of faith to believe that you really can make a difference in this world, so that you are able, with God's grace, to do what others claim cannot be done. In graduating class of 21, as you graduate and then get up and get involved, may the grace and the peace of God be with you and remain with you from this day and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you, Bishop Barber, for those inspiring remarks. This is the moment for which you've all been waiting. I now invite Dr. Glenelle Lee Pruitt, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, to join me for the presentation of candidates and the conferring of degrees.
Mr. President.
Madam Provost.
This virtual world now calls us to do everything differently. Today, we have graduates here with limited seating for their families in order to continue to keep everyone as safe as possible. So for those who are here, we ask that you respect each graduate and their families as their names are being called and they are crossing the stage. For those of you watching from home, you have my permission to scream, cry, and even embrace if it is safe to do so. Mr. President.
Madam Provost.
These candidates have completed all requirements for the Associate of Arts, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Business Administration, and Bachelor of Social Work degrees. Therefore, based upon the recommendations of the faculty of the respective divisions, I present them to you for the conferring of degrees. I now invite Dr. Lisa Lang to the podium to call the names of the candidates and the deans of the respective divisions.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Jarvis Christian College, I do hereby confer upon you the Associate of Arts, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Social Work degrees, according to the division in which you have qualified, with all of the honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may proceed to the platform.
Shartavia Greggs. Imani M. Crosby. Taylor Renee Eckers. Shaniqua Nicole Bracken Collins. Thank you. Candace J. Jackson, cum laude. Chabrene Lachey Garrett. Kristen Lily Ann Harris. Cindy Lynn Blanton. Elizabeth Maria Robinson, summa cum laude. Lakita Rochelle Lynette Nolan. Jake Quincy Belford. Melroy Gibbons, Jr. Tawan Deshaun Hampton. Angelica D. Anderson, cum laude. Christopher R. Ortiz, Jr. Jamisha Michaela Hutton. Cheston Living, cum laude.
Yes, Lord.
Latisha Monique Lydia Moon. Shanae Elizabeth Neal, cum laude. Christopher Turner, Jr. Keitha L. Gaines. Imani Marche Brown, cum laude. Oscar Dean Bordeaux. Alexandra Yerahilda Montalvo, magna cum laude. Amani Cummins. Anna Amisi, magna cum laude. Elena Joel Bowie. DeAndre Lewis Dennis. Melicia LaShawn Mott, cum laude. Travius Savon Realix Foster. Shantariel Nicole Sessions. Tressa Michelle Bridges, cum laude. Stephen Daniels Sr. Shirley Denise Watkins Clark, cum laude. Marcus Lynn Turner Jr., cum laude. Anita Carol Goins. Tamika LaShawn James, magna cum laude. Andrea Denise Bolin, magna cum laude. Tennille Monet Jordan.
Brianna R. Jones.
K. Brianna R. Jones. Janera Henderson Richardson. DeQuayla Balkman. Curtis Ray Govan, Jr., magna cum laude. Devin Lee Collins, cum laude. Danielle N. Lee. Raya Collins. Ajane Nakia Redwine. Jamal J. Hatley. Charles Aaron James. Jaya Foster. Bobby Ray Harris. Joshua Allen Romero. Marquez D'Angelo Brown.
It's
Kalia Kiera Davis, magna cum laude.
Esmeralda Asenet Hernandez. Gallegos.
Esmeralda Asenet Hernandez Gallegos.
It's just Brianna Salinas.
Brianna Salinas.
Kayla Elizabeth Hardeman.
Michaela Elizabeth Hardeman.
Daisy Ray Gallegos. Yes.
Daisy Ray Gallegos.
It's Avila.
Elizabeth Avila, summa cum laude. Gia Demir Pettis, summa cum laude. Beyonce Tybra Sanchez. Marquinthia Deshelle Johnson, cum laude. Jada Shanice Minor, magna cum laude. Roderick Montez Jones, Jr. Alyssa Ebony Jackson Raspberry, cum laude. Markesia Princess Rollins, magna cum laude. Mirka Samaripa Rodriguez, magna cum laude. Jaitlin Brina Wallace, summa cum laude. Chantel McCleveland. Amber Mayanne Richardson. Abram Agapito Lou Evano, summa cum laude. Tamaria Brown. Jordan R. Traylor. LaCavia Moss. Sierra Mignon Flowers. Alexis Perez, magna cum laude. Diana Ledesma Lopez, magna cum laude. Tierra Leanne Husley, cum laude. Jasmine Latrina Petty. Caleb M. Jones. Shashiko M. Washington, summa cum laude. Christopher DeJuan Rhodes. Okay. Victor DeJohn Holman Fruget. Everett Dayon Lee Morrell. Tasia Lanice Graham. Marlicia Francis. Shernicia M. Blewett. Kenyante Jeray Randall.
Graduates, you may now turn your tassel to the left. Congratulations. You may be seated. I now welcome Ms. Jada Miner, valedictorian, class of 2021, to the podium for the farewell address. The farewell address will be followed by a special message to the graduates from Mr. Torrey Edwards, Chairman of the Jarvis Christian College Board of Trustees.
First, I would like to give honor to God, President Dr. Lester C. Newman, trustees, faculty members, family, friends, and fellow graduates. Today is the day to be thankful and to be inspired. First, we have so much to be thankful for. We've overcome so much last year during the pandemic. Here at Jarvis Christian College, we have received a great education thanks to our fine administration and teachers. 4 years ago, most of us arrived at the campus eager to begin in a new chapter of our lives. For many of us, it was our first time being independent and having to figure out life by ourselves. Entering college as a first-time freshman was a big experience. But at the same time, you're only there for one thing, and that's to finish college. You have to go to school, you have to get your degree, because the one thing nobody can take away from you is your education. The purpose of education is to fully develop your mind for challenges you face throughout your life. Well, fellow graduates, we are finally here. The day we have all been waiting on. We have completed our years as an undergraduate at Jarvis Christian College. We have all accomplished one of the major milestones of our lives, beating the odds and finishing our undergraduate studies. This is a major step in the journey of our lives, one that we should recognize for its immense significance because some of us weren't always sure if we would be here today, walking across this stage and receiving our associate's or bachelor's degree. Jarvis Christian College has equipped us all with tools that we will need to be successful in life. Not only has Jarvis allowed us to further our education, but it has taught us many life lessons about who we are and what we want and deserve in life. This journey has shown us how we are capable of accomplishing our goals when we commit ourselves to them. I hope all of us is here today can take this personal accomplishment as an example of how anything is truly possible when we put our minds to it. As we all continue in our lives, let us take each new problem on with confidence, knowing that we have achieved great heights and equipped with the necessary tools to tackle our futures. The road that lies ahead won't be easy. Finally, we can be thankful for each other. The friendships that we have made here will last a lifetime. We were always told that college friends will be your lifelong friends. In the same way, we have supported each other and helped each other succeed in these years at Jarvis Christian College. I hope we will continue to provide support and encouragement for each other in future endeavors. We can also be thankful for our families. These past 4 years have presented us with a lot of ups and downs, and it is good to know that we have had our families in our corner, supporting us along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I would not be here today without you. To my mom, you always told me, with God, anything is possible. And that stuck with me. Throughout my life, I always looked up to my mother and cherished everything she did for me as a kid. I used to dream of growing up and becoming an adult. My mother used to laugh at me and tell me to cherish my childhood. I, of course, did not listen. However, it wasn't until this year I truly began to value all she taught me. The year of my freshman year of college and became my own person. Suddenly, everything my mother taught me about life was coming back to me. Growing up, my mom taught me to keep God first in everything I do and to not give up when things get rough, no matter how hard things get. She once told me that it's okay to make mistakes in life as long as you don't let them define you. Thank you for always showering me with your support and guidance, for always being in my corner throughout this journey. To my support system that are more like family, Erinice, Lacey, Rashawn, my line sisters, Dr. Starling, Coach Thompson, Miss Marshall, my Granny May, my Papa Lewis, my big sister Jasmine, my brother Pookie, and Dad. I am so appreciative to have the loyal, supportive, and caring family that I do. Thank you for accepting me for who I am and where I am right now. It at all to be in my corner, backing me up through all the difficulties of life. It would be my family 100 times over. Thank you for always being the most reliable and supportive people I could ever hope to know. To the graduating class of 2021, we are prepared to move on and to take on whatever challenges come next in our lives. Fellow graduates, I want you to know what a great gift it is to be prepared as we are, because not all schools offer such an advantage. Here we've had a high degree of academic excellence, and whether you intend to continue your education or not, you will benefit from what you learned here. I do not want to dwell on the fact that all our family friends couldn't be here together for our graduation and was unfortunately cut short due to COVID-19. But I will say this. All of us took on the huge challenge of adapting to online classes in the best ways possible. We pushed through the lack of motivation and self-doubt to come out on top. Our grad will be immortalized in history, which means so will we. Every single one of you deserves more than this, but I commend you for doing everything you can to make it a good year. Let us make the best of the summer and the years to follow. Wherever you end up in any form of career, I know each and every one of you has what it takes to be a leader. I wish you all success. Continue to laugh, celebrate as if you will never be able to leave your house the next day for a year. Treat everything like it's due tomorrow, and don't ever forget God is always with you. To my graduating class of 2021, it's only up from here.
On behalf of the Jarvis Christian College Board of Trustees, as chairman, we want to applaud the success of this graduating class of 2021. You have endured through two very historic moments in this nation. One is a global pandemic that has lasted for over 12 months. The second is racial injustice that has occurred in many different states around this nation, some locations where you may have lived. Through enduring these times, this moment is your time. You have successfully matriculated through Jarvis Christian College. We are confident that this institution has prepared you very well. It's now time for you to go out and change the world. Be successful. Be productive, and we are confident that you will make a change in your various communities. So at this time, God bless you. Thank you to your family, and thank you for your success with successfully making it through this institution. We applaud you. Thank you, and God bless.
At this time, as part of our commencement ceremony, we are pleased to recognize a special group of individuals who have the distinction of being our Golden Anniversary graduates. We have 12 members of the Jarvis Christian College class of 1971. We will now recognize these Golden graduates who will receive their anniversary diplomas. Frank Douglas Allen, Bachelor Science degree in Education. Susie Ann Choi Scott, Bachelor Science degree in Integrated Social Science. Margaret Wilson Curlin, Bachelor Science degree in Elementary Education. Sylvester L. Curry, Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. Mary Bernadine Brooks Dixon, Bachelor of Science degree in Elementary Education. Patricia Johnson Hector, Bachelor of Arts degree in History. Billy Joe Jefferson, Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics. Faye L. Jefferson, Bachelor of Science degree in History. Carolyn Cook Moss, Bachelor of Science degree in Business Education. Aura William Scott, Bachelor of Arts degree in History. Ruthie J. William Trotter, Bachelor of Arts degree in History. And Polly M. Hitchen, Bachelor of Science degree in Education. Please join me in a round of applause in recognition of these great pioneers of Jarvis Christian College.
Congratulations to our golden graduates. We will now have the induction of our graduates into the Jarvis Christian College National Alumni Association by Mr. William Hampton, Executive Director of the Alumni Affairs, Class of 1978.
Will all the graduates please stand and repeat after me? I state your name. A graduate of Jarvis Christian College, recognize the honor and privilege as well as the responsibilities of being a Jarvisite. I am aware of a new, more responsible relationship of being a graduate of Jarvis Christian College. I pledge to acknowledge my membership by becoming active in the association and by supporting it morally and financially. I will strive to uphold the mission of the college and the purpose of the National Alumni Association to the best of my ability. I pledge to the President and the National Alumni Association the best that is in me as a representative of Jarvis Christian College. Congratulations, you may be seated.
Before we conclude our ceremony, I would like to once again commend each of you as graduates for the commitment and sacrifices that you made to reach this milestone in your life. I would also like to express our gratitude to those of you who assisted these graduates in reaching this level of achievement in their educational pursuits. So at this time, I would like to ask all parents, grandparents, children, aunts, uncles, relatives, and significant others of our graduates to give yourselves a well-deserved round of applause. Please know that this day is possible because of the sacrifices that you made on behalf of our students. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize and commend our outstanding faculty members who have worked so diligently to ensure that our graduates are properly prepared to receive their degrees and are ready to move to the graduate schools or professional schools or the workforce, even in the midst of COVID-19. Additionally, I wish to commend and recognize all of the staff who provided support services to our graduates and served as mentors, guiding them through their experience here at Jarvis. And I extend our most heartfelt and sincere gratitude to our alumni and friends of the college who have made generous donations, financial and otherwise, for scholarships and other programs and activities, thereby enabling our students to become productive, contributing members of society. And finally, to our graduates, thank you for entrusting us with your education. It is our hope that each of you will go forward, proudly carrying the banner of Jarvis Christian College. You've been prepared for great and mighty things, and we know that your contribution to our community and to this global society will be tremendous. All I ask is that you never forget our great commitment to service, Christianity, knowledge, and industry, and that you remember finally your alma mater and seek new ways to give of your time and talents and resources. Remember to reach back and help others accomplish what you've been able to achieve on this day. Again, congratulations and best wishes to each of you. I want to thank Ms. Gwendolyn Winters and Mr. Chris Watson and all the members of the Special Occasions Committee for the hard work and dedication shown in the preparation of this 2021 commencement ceremony. I also want to acknowledge the members of the Jarvis Christian College Board of Trustees, elected and appointed officials, retirees, members of the clergy, alumni, and certainly the First Lady, Ms. Gloria Newman, and others who are watching the virtual commencement with us today. Thank you. I do have a few announcements. To all prospective new and returning students, I know that many of you are ready for the summer and a little leisure and relaxation. However, please allow me to remind you that registration for Early Start Summer Program and regular summer school is ongoing and will run concurrently. The ESSP program and regular summer school will take place in 2 semester sessions from June 7th to July 2nd and July 5th to July 30th, respectively. All students who have the options of room and board and enrolling in 12 hours for both the ESSP program and regular summer school. To parents, your young adult can register for summer school, enroll in 12 hours, stay on campus, and eat in the cafeteria for $3,100. What better deal can you get? We will also have the following summer programs on campus. Summer Enrichment Program, June 7th through August 6th, Adult Education, June 7th through July 30th, and the Upper Bound Program, June 7th through July 15th. Again, registration is ongoing for the fall semester, and we're encouraging all returning and prospective students to register now. We have incentives for early registration. Please see our webpage at www.jarvis.edu for those incentives. Please know that we are relaxing our bubble concept and allowing students to have more mobile freedom at Jarvis Christian College. However, we will continue to follow the protocols of the Center for Disease Control and the Prevention and the Texas Department of State Health Services as it relates to wearing masks, practicing social distancing, and testing for COVID-19 on a regular basis. Our intent is to keep everyone safe and healthy. Will you join me now in the singing of the Alma Mater, which will be followed by the benediction.
Receive now these words of benediction. Go forth now, my brothers and my sisters, knowing that God put you in this world for a purpose. Go forth, my brothers and my sisters, knowing you have been prepared by this place to meet the challenges ahead of you. Go forth, my brothers and my sisters, knowing that you are the difference maker between what is and what will be. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord lift up the light of God's countenance upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord grant you God's peace in your labor, in your leisure, in your laughter, in your tears, in your joys, as well as in your sorrow. May the love of God go with you every step of your journey. In Jesus' name, amen.